Welcome to Cookbook Corner, the show where two librarians choose a book from the cookbook collection here at Sterling Heights Public Library, take it home, do a little test drive, and then come back to discuss. My name is Lindsay.
I'm Brent.
And this month of December, we are doing a little bit of a theme. We decided to choose books that are appropriate for the holidays, but not really in the way you might think. So what is one thing that you notice, Brent, about the holiday season when it comes to cooking?
Well, you and I have both been going 100 miles an hour in completely different directions for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have that around the holidays.
Yeah,
and so we were talking and decided to do something that was easy.
Yeah. So you might have thought, oh, it's December, so let's break out all the holiday meals and the holiday baking books. And we did think about that, but then we thought, you know what? People know what they want to cook for the holidays for the most part. It's like your grandma's, casserole or
you don't
turkey.
You don't want to try out a brand new recipe when you got company coming.
But we thought, you have to cook for maybe relatives or parties, or you're just doing a lot of Christmas shopping and a lot of stuff is pulling you in all different directions, but you still have to eat 3 times a day.
There's a lot to December besides just the holiday.
Exactly. So while we're all just like getting burned out and are kind of over it, we thought you could still feed yourself in a way that is not fast food and not going to add to your stress. So we each chose a book that is going to help with keeping December as chill as possible outside of all the usual holiday stuff. So I chose a book called Bare Minimum Dinners, and the subtitle is Recipes and Strategies for Doing Less in the Kitchen. And what book did you select?
I have got Slow Cook Modern, which is all about slow cookers, but it is taking a little bit different tack on that than a traditional slow cooker book.
Okay, so we both chose books that allow you to do less but still eat well. So why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Okay, so I did like this one. I've got a couple of things to nitpick about it, but we're not going to go there just yet. So one of the things that I did like about this is that it has a good introduction to it, which to me matters. So it talks a little bit about, how to use a slow cooker. It talks a little bit about basic safety. Is it safe to leave one of these things running all day while you're not home? That's what it's for. It's absolutely supposed to be used that way.
I'm still not convinced, but sure.
Yeah. So, you put something in it, turn it on low, let it go for 8 hours. That's what this thing is intended to do while you're out doing everything you've got to do during your busy day, whether you're at work or out running errands or doing whatever else you need to do. Also, slow cooker stuff is great for when it's cold out because it's warm, it's comforting.
It's cozy.
Exactly. Now, one of the things, I did mention it's got stuff on safety in here. It does address what happens if power goes out while you're away. So these things are designed to shut off when that happens and not come back on. So it touches on things like, okay, so I came back and, maybe there was a power outage and it's off. Well, is it still hot? Is it done, or has it been sitting on the counter for a while? Yeah. Which, in that case, you may just have to, but that doesn't happen very often in most places. So not a huge concern most of the time, but something worth addressing.
All right.
Also, it is geared specifically for 4-quart slow cookers. Every recipe in here, they said, is specifically for a 3.5 to 4-quart cooker.
Is that the kind that most people have?
I think it's pretty common.
Yeah.
The one I've got actually has 3 inserts, which is nice because I can do stuff that is smaller, medium, or large. So I've got a 4-quart, but it also does 2-quart and 6-quart. I love the thing. I don't think they sell it anymore.
I was about to say, Christmas list.
I use the 2 more than I use the 4.
Okay.
By a long shot,
but if you're using the 4, you can freeze some of it,
absolutely.
There you go.
I'm not cooking for a crowd most of the time.
Give your future self a little present.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's but this has also got a very more global palette than a lot of old school stuff, which is largely spaghetti sauce and stew and soup, and it's got all those things, but it also branches out into many different cuisines, different traditions. It touches on Indian, Mexican, stuff from South America, Eastern Europe. There's the one that's on the cover here is a borscht.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool because I think, slow cooker, Instant Pot, that kind of thing, it might be an appliance that has gathering dust at the back of your cupboard, and this is a fun excuse to take it out and not be like, oh, it's just going to be more of the same old stuff that, your grandma
There's
used to make.
There's a lot more in here than
it's a
beef
way to,
stew and spaghetti sauce and chili. Those things are all in here, but it's also got, it's got a whole section of vegetarian stuff.
Amen.
Which, I know is,
That's my jam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's not just, baked beans and slow cooked spaghetti sauce.
Yeah. Hence the title, Slow Cooker Modern. So
exactly. So it has a more global palette. That being said, many of the things in here, as I was going through, do call for, I'm not going to say require, but call for some ingredients that you may or may not have laying around the house and may or may not even know where to get. So I have a very well-stocked spice cabinet and pantry. There's some stuff in here I don't have.
Now, I know some cookbooks that call for more unusual ingredients usually have like a resource list at the back that shows you where you might maybe mail order or
I've seen that in a lot of books.
Does this have that?
Good question. Because I don't remember seeing one.
Okay.
But I don't remember looking for it either.
Okay. Yeah, it's usually at the back.
Yeah.
But you know,
these days, especially in an area like this, a major metropolitan area, you can find this stuff. You just might have to know where to look. There's a couple of things in here I had to figure out what they were because it was like, oh, okay. But
I'm intrigued.
Again, some of this stuff is from traditions that I'm not particularly familiar with.
Sure.
So it speaks to a lot of folks, I think, without necessarily being geared specifically. There's 200 recipes in here, and I don't think there's very many people that are going to go through and try and cook all 200.
Sure.
But if you go through here and you find 4 to 6 that appeal to you, I'd say it's
it's worth it.
It's worth at least checking out.
Yeah, for such a small book, I was surprised when I looked at the table of contents. It does have
there's a lot of stuff in here, and it's well illustrated. They're beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
There's flavors from all over the place. Including the Caribbean. There's a section in here on lamb and goat.
There you go.
So, if you're looking for how to make goat curry, there's an option in there.
Your slow cooker.
You may have to have a source for goat, because that's not something I usually find at Kroger.
No, I would think not. So what did you end up making out of this?
So I went through and I looked at a whole bunch of different stuff, and keeping with our theme, I wanted to go pretty simple, pretty easy. Yeah. I went with a standard. They've got one called chicken cobbler, which is basically, it is a chicken stew with biscuits.
Okay.
I've eaten a lot of chicken and biscuits over the years. I love chicken and biscuits.
Yes. So your standards are pretty well set.
Yeah. And I've got my own traditions and my own recipes and all that. I may still prefer some of my own stuff, but I've been working on that for decades. That being said, it's good.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's a completely valid recipe. It's tasty. And the cheddar drop biscuits that come with it.
A little sleeper.
I brought you one.
Yeah,
they're
sure
good.
Did. They sure are.
So I would say that particular recipe, the stew is good.
Yeah.
The biscuits are the star on that one.
The biscuits can...
Which is a little ironic because they're not the slow cooker part.
I know. But that's kind of cool. It's got bonus bonus
Yeah, the dough was
extras
really sticky, so they're definitely a drop biscuit, not a try and form and cut biscuit, but they were delicious.
Well, it saves you some counter space.
Yeah, they were a lot like the cheddar biscuits that you get at Red Lobster.
That's
but
what
not
I thought
greasy.
about. Yeah. It was,
buttery, cheesy.
Yep.
Yum.
Yeah, those were.
I will be making those again.
Yeah, and now you can say like, well, this little gem is gonna, break out and go into, other areas of my cooking practice. So yeah.
Specifically that recipe, I got a couple of things I wanted to kind of touch on with that, and one of them was the book is designed for 3.5 to 4 quart slow cookers.
Okay.
I used the 4 quart insert, and when I put everything in it, there was about 2 quarts worth of stuff. So it was not enough to fill the 4 quart.
Does that matter?
It
in a slow
can,
cooker?
because when you're talking about something that's designed for 4 quarts of stuff, and you set it for 4 quarts of stuff, it cooks a little fast and a little hot.
Okay.
So, I have one that has different inserts. Next time I make this, I will probably go with the smaller insert.
Do you think that would affect the outcome significantly from what you ended up with?
No.
Okay.
No, not
I don't
really.
know if it like overcooked it for you or did anything like that.
The chicken was fall apart tender.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked it.
great.
I would say that the measure of liquid that it called for seemed low,
Okay.
but when I actually ran it, it was fine.
Yeah.
When you're doing something like this in an enclosed vessel, with a lid on it,
Yeah.
it doesn't allow liquid to escape, so all liquid comes back, and as you get the moisture from the vegetables and the meat, it adds its own liquid. So
Yes.
yeah, it does in fact have enough liquid. I did actually call for 1.5 cups. I actually used 2 because that's what I had, and I couldn't see taking the extra 1/2 cup of chicken broth and
Putting it back.
yeah.
Just having a little chicken broth cocktail while you work.
Now, when it's talking about,
You're like, that's disgusting. Moving on.
not even.
Really? Okay.
You never, well, no, you wouldn't.
No. No, I can't say I've explored that option.
There's nothing wrong with drinking a little chicken broth. It's delicious. I will say that the measurements for some of the vegetables, and you see this with a lot of recipes, it calls for, 2 carrots and, 2
yeah.
stalks of celery and 1/2 an onion. And you got to use a little judgment on that because
Yes.
2 carrots can be, 2 ounces or
Yep.
a pound.
I've seen some of the carrots.
The carrots I used were horse carrots. They were big.
Horse carrots.
They were good, but
Yeah.
they were big.
Yeah.
The onion I used was a little small.
Okay.
You got to use a little judgment on stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
The precise measurements are not super important, but you got to use a little judgment on
Yeah.
that. One of the things I would say with a cookbook, any cookbook, and publishers, please take this to heart. If you are publishing a cookbook, it should lay flat on the counter without
Ooh.
help.
Yeah.
This one doesn't.
Well, put a cookbook holder on your Christmas list this year, maybe.
Yeah. So I am not going to be putting weights on it or anything
Sure.
because it's a library book.
Yeah.
It is not
We
my
don't want to
book.
we don't want to be messing
And
about
I do
too
not
much.
want to be putting, big stains and things on it or breaking the spine. So if you decide to check this one out, please don't break the spine. But yeah, overall, I think it's a winner.
Yeah.
I had a couple of small quibbles with it, but other than that, I think it's well worth your time.
Would you cook something else out of it, or have
Oh,
you
yeah.
tried? Yeah.
I haven't yet.
I'm curious.
But I can, there's 200 recipes in here. I can
yeah.
see 6 easily that
Could
I
play around some more.
Yeah. Well, and there's a bunch of stuff in here that I already know how to do, too.
Sure.
And I have enough experience, I can look at the recipe and I can say, yep, that's going to work.
Yeah.
I know it's going to work. I don't have to try it to know that it's going to work.
So
it's going to work.
It legitimizes the
Oh, yeah.
methods for you, too.
Absolutely.
When you can look and say, like, that's how I would do it, therefore,
Yeah.
I know to have
And
tested
it does
this before.
take some, as I said, it's got a lot of, global ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna use the word unusual, but it's got a lot of stuff that I'm not super familiar with.
Right.
It does have a number of techniques that are useful, and some of them are inspired by the way things are done other places. The chili recipe does call for like actually using dried chilies. And,
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not just 2 tablespoons of chili powder.
Okay.
So there's stuff
cool.
in here that brings in a measure of authenticity.
Yes.
With the the slow cooker. So yeah, I would call it a winner.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually eager to take a look at it myself.
And again, there is a whole section of vegetarian in here, so it's not just for carnivores.
That's right. It's everybody. All right, cool. My turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Tell me a little bit more.
Bare Minimum Dinners. So this book is by Jenna Helwig. Jenna Helwig is the food director at Real Simple Magazine, which is every, aspiring, whatever, you're trying to live your life a little more. You're like, oh, I wish things could be that simple, but it's nice to dream anyway. So I've always been a fan of the way their recipes, it's a lifestyle magazine, but they do have a pretty significant food section where they'll offer recipes that I always thought were like, it seems too simple. How could it possibly be good? But
It looks delicious.
I was pleasantly surprised by what I ended up making in this. And I did go in with a little measure of skepticism, thinking, oh, I don't know if this, the ingredient lists are so short and the recipes are so brief, and how could anything possibly be worth your time if, those are kind of longer. But, with some of these recipes, what I ended up making turned out great. I made it for my family, and it really wasn't that much of an effort. It was still, you have to lift a finger. You're not like sitting, kicking back and something is just magically making itself. But if that were true, that would be pretty amazing. But so the way this book is organized is, so the sections are all about bare minimum, A, B, and C. So there's bare minimum time. So here's a section with recipes ready in 30 minutes or less. Bare minimum ingredients, so 7 ingredients or less. Bare minimum of cleanup. Bare minimum hands-on time. So there actually is a section with recipes for Instant Pot and slow cooker. And then there's a bare minimum sides section at the end. So there's just a list of she calls them easy add-ons to round out dinners. So if you're looking for something to supplement, then you can grab something
This
from
one
there.
did a lot of that too.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything had a part for the cooker, and then it had like something to go with it.
Yeah,
So-
because it's cooking for you, so you've got some hands-on time. You can scoop out a biscuit
so it's
recipe
not
or something.
just a bowl
Right.
of stew. There's something with it.
Yeah. So what I ended up making was the meaty, meatless filling. So it was actually, I made a few things, and we ended up doing like a burrito bowl, taco bowl situation. So this filling, it is not in itself a meal, but you use it like you would any taco filling that you might make out of ground beef. My mom would usually probably use ground turkey, but this used pinto beans, mushrooms, and walnuts as the base, and then it has just some simple kind of Mexican inspired spices, so like cumin and chili powder, and a little bit of tomato paste. But that just goes in a skillet and cooks up pretty easily. And then to round that out, I did some rice in the rice cooker. And I used 2 of the sides from the sides chapter. So I made these cumin roasted carrots, which were, carrots, olive oil, cumin seeds, and salt. And you actually cover it for the first 15 minutes in the oven. Then you take it off. So it steams first, then it,
Gives them a little jump
gives
start.
them a jump start, which is nice. And then I made...
Especially with carrots.
Yes, exactly. So any harder vegetable, that's a really good way. It calls for adding foil on top, but I just flipped over another roasting tray and put that on top instead, so I wouldn't have to waste foil. So I did those, and those turned out great. And then I made this, what they call a simple everyday slaw. So it was just shredded cabbage, any kind of cabbage that you have, and then salt, rice vinegar, and a little bit of sugar, and just let that sit for 30 minutes. So we made our, taco bowls. I made a little improvised topping. I just did some yogurt, mashed avocado, lime juice, and salt, and just kind of mixed that up. And that was our sauce, and some cilantro, and that was that. And we made these really nice bowls. Everyone got to kind of put in the amount of stuff they wanted.
Sounds delicious.
I would have brought you some, but we ate it all because it was good. So the recipe.
I'm not offended.
Yeah, but for next time, yeah.
I'm
But
intrigued.
the recipe doesn't make a ton, so that's kind of nice too, because I'm not a huge fan of leftovers. So this was just enough for everybody to have some, and then like one person to have lunch the next day. So it made a decent, you know, you could easily double it. It wasn't, you know, use 2 cans of beans instead of 1 or something. So that was great. I picked that because I felt like it was, you know, enough of a versatile collection of recipes to do other things with if you so chose, and I just felt like doing like a bowl night. But they also have like a lot of one dish, you know, throw it in the oven. These are really geared towards people who are probably have busy lives, are in a hurry, have kids.
Describes a lot of people.
Describes a lot of people. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So what I like about it is again, the ingredient lists are super short. It does use a few shortcuts, so you might find like a curry that uses like a jarred simmer sauce that you might buy, and it does suggest brands, but there are such good products out there these days that it's a fun way to see if you like those flavor profiles without committing to buying like a huge list of spices.
My spice cabinet.
Yep. Hey, listen, mine's getting there too. Yeah. But it's fun. But
I say
again,
that like it's one cabinet. It's not.
But it does give you a chance to try some new-ish flavors, but not commit to getting a ton of, you know, stuff that you would then have to figure out how to use again. And if you end up not liking it, then no worries. You just try something different. So, so this is definitely a winner. Again, it's and it's a smaller book too. It just gives you a chance to get dinner on the table without making a big fuss, which...
Does it lay flat on the counter?
No.
No.
But here's what I do. You're gonna think I'm drat. You're gonna think I'm weird, but when I go to make a recipe, I like to copy it onto a piece of notebook paper.
That's actually a really good idea.
Because that way it's not just me like not getting junk on the book itself, it's also it forces you to read through the entire thing. And so you've read through it, you've written it down, and then I feel a little bit like I know what I'm doing and not having to look back at it every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I recommend doing that, or, you know, scanning and printing it or something. It's just, it's a little bit easier for me than having to deal with a book, especially a library book. Again, cookbooks are tricky when they're shared.
I'm super careful about keeping this away from my prep area.
Yeah.
It may be nearby, but it's not right where I'm working.
So just, you know, a little tip. But yeah, this is a really, really fun one. It's got a bunch of different ways to, it's got some recipes are like, oh, here's chicken soup 3 ways, or here's tacos 3 ways, or, you know, mac and cheese, or whatever you might want to try. So it gives you some options. And again, I think it's a really nice thing for busy families who are already busy because it is that time of year. And this way you don't have to get stressed out about getting a meal on the table. So yeah,
Awesome.
Highly recommend. Now, before we sign off for the year,
It is that
would
time,
you,
isn't it?
since it is, this will be coming out the beginning of December, so what is maybe one of your favorite tips for cooking around the holidays? Like, what would you share as like a little piece of advice for all of us out there who, you know, we're all in the same boat as far as you know, being busy and, you know, be it holiday meals or regular meals during this time of year. Got any tips for us?
Do a little planning ahead of time. If you know, when you can, when
Yeah.
you've got a little time, you know, think about it a little bit and do a little bit of, you know, just basic, you know, organizing and you know, it does not hurt to make a list.
Making lists
You know.
is like self-care for me.
Yeah.
It's very soothing.
You know. One thing I found that when my wife and I have got company coming in, and especially if we've got company coming for a couple of days, which
Well, you host out-of-towners and they spend the night with you.
when we do that, we usually wind up getting out a couple of pieces of paper and actually planning out what we're doing so that we have a game plan going
Yes.
in rather than just kind of winging it, because that makes it a lot easier to kind of manage stuff.
Absolutely. I think one of the
Winging it when you're under under the gun is tricky.
one of the fastest ways to stress me out is to put me in a situation where I have to make decisions under pressure. I hate it so much, and it makes me very angry and very tired. So having made the decisions when I'm in a better place to do that and doing ahead of time is very much, it cannot emphasize enough how important that is. My tip, I have two. One is something that was recently pointed out to me that, thinking back on all the times I've not taken this advice, was like, oh, that makes way more sense. Don't food shop and cook on the same day if you can avoid it.
Going to the grocery store hungry is a bad idea.
That and like food shopping, just it's exhausting. And then if you have to time your day so that you're food shopping and then coming home and then also cooking for company or whatever it is you're doing, it's like, no, don't do that. Just do your food shopping, get it all put away, and then rest. And then the next day, do your cooking. So that's something that I've tried to implement, and it really does help to spread things out. Kind of goes with your planning theme. And my other advice is, I am an avid baker, especially around the holidays when everyone's like, yay, cookies. So if you can find cookie recipes that freeze well, like I love a slice and bake cookie. You can make dough ahead of time. You can make it all at once and then just freeze it, and then you can bake stuff fresh whenever you want, instead of having to drag out every bowl and appliance.
You know, having
I'm
worked in the field before, you and I both know that a lot of fresh baked cookies, they may be fresh baked, but the dough comes pre-portioned in boxes.
It doesn't have to be fresh
and you know
mixed.
What?
So
it is every bit as good as something that you just mixed up.
So having like a supply of cookie dough or topping or what have you in your freezer is seriously a game changer. So that's a fun little thing to have in stock at your house. So
cool.
All right, any closing thoughts before we say
closing thoughts?
Happy holidays and
happy holidays.
Happy New Year.
That is my closing thought.
Yes, enjoy, take care of yourself, relax, and have fun with your loved ones. That's it. So we'll see you next year. Thanks for watching, and yeah, that's it. All right.